I'm standing in Claire's hallway holding a chicken casserole when I hear Caleb's voice through the cracked study door. Your mother is a problem. Then Nora laughs, low and satisfied, like she's been waiting years to hear someone say it out loud. Caleb continues, his voice sharp with frustration. She's a burden we need to deal with. We need a solid plan. My stomach drops. The casserole dish suddenly feels like it weighs 100 pounds. I want to move, to knock, to announce myself, but my feet have turned to concrete. Claire's voice follows, small and tired in a way I've never heard before. Okay, but how exactly? What are we supposed to do? I don't knock. I don't breathe. I press my back against the hallway wall and just listen, my heart hammering so loud I'm afraid they'll hear it through the door. The casserole is still warm in my hands, the dish I spent all morning making because Claire mentioned Caleb loved my chicken recipe. That was 3 hours ago when she called, her voice bright and cheerful. Mom, why don't you bring that casserole by tonight? We'd love to see you. Now I understand. They wanted me here. Just not yet. Not while they were planning whatever this is. Caleb lays it out like he's presenting a business proposal. His voice is calm, methodical, the same tone he uses when he talks about his investment portfolio at family dinners. We help her downsize, he says. She doesn't need that big house anymore. We find her a cheaper rental, something manageable. Then we step in to manage her finances. For her own good, obviously. Nora's voice cuts in, sharp as a knife. And make absolutely sure she signs the paperwork before she starts asking questions. Old people get confused easily. No one questions it. The casserole dish nearly slips from my hands. I grip it tighter, my knuckles going white. Claire whispers, she'll hate me for this. Caleb's response is quick and certain. She'll get over it. Besides, where else does she have to go? She's completely dependent on you. My throat closes. The hallway spins slightly. I've been widowed for 2 years. My husband Tom passed suddenly, leaving me alone in the house we'd shared for 22 years. Claire has been my anchor, my reason to keep going. And now I'm hearing that my only daughter thinks I'm a burden to be managed. My phone starts ringing in my coat pocket. The sound cuts through the quiet hallway like a siren. I freeze. My hands shake as I silence the call without looking at who it is. My heart is pounding so hard I can feel it in my throat. I take 3 deep breaths, smooth down my coat, and force my face into something resembling normal. Then I walk into the kitchen like nothing happened, setting the casserole on the counter with hands that won't stop trembling. Hello? I call out, keeping my voice light and cheerful. I'm here. Sorry I'm a bit early. Within seconds, Caleb emerges from the study, his face transformed into pure charm. Diane, you didn't have to go to all this trouble. He kisses my cheek like I'm his favorite person in the world. Claire appears behind him. She won't meet my eyes. Her smile is too tight, her shoulders too stiff. I know my daughter's tells, and right now she's screaming guilt. Nora pats my arm like I'm a misbehaving pet. How sweet of you to cook for us. Her voice drips with false warmth. I make it through exactly 15 minutes of small talk before I make an excuse about feeling tired. Claire walks me to the door, still avoiding eye contact. I sit in my car in their driveway for 10 minutes, trembling with anger and humiliation. When I finally open my banking app to distract myself, my blood turns to ice. There's a pending change request I didn't make. I call the bank the moment I get home. My hands are still shaking as I punch in the customer service number. The representative sounds young and bored until I explain why I'm calling. Then her voice shifts, becoming careful and concerned. Mrs. Hayes, I see the request here. Someone attempted to add an authorized user to your checking account earlier today. She pauses. It lists a Caleb Brennan? My throat tightens. My son-in-law, he's already started. This isn't just talk, this is action. I don't scream, I don't accuse. I force myself to speak calmly. I did not authorize that. I need my account flagged immediately, password reset. And I want notes added that no changes can be made without in-person verification with photo ID. Of course, Mrs. Hayes, I'm making those changes right now. There's a pause, then she adds softly, almost reluctantly. Ma'am, I should mention there were also inquiries made about opening a home equity line of credit, under your name. The room tilts. I sit down hard on my kitchen chair. When? I whisper. 3 days ago. The application was incomplete, so it didn't process, but the inquiry was logged. I thank her and hang up. Then I sit in my quiet kitchen, the one I've cooked in for over 2 decades, and let the truth sink in. They're not just planning, they're already executing. I go to bed, but I don't sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I hear Caleb's voice. She has nowhere else to go. At sunrise, I give up and go to my home office. I pull out the old metal file cabinet Tom insisted on keeping, the one I haven't opened since he died. Inside are decades of organized documents, property deeds, insurance policies, retirement account statements, copies of our wills. I spread everything across my desk and really look at it for the first time in 2 years. The truth hits me like cold water. I've been acting like a guest in my own life. Since Tom died, I've let grief make me passive. I've let Claire make decisions for me because it was easier than facing things alone. I stopped managing my own finances. I stopped checking my own mail sometimes. I've made myself vulnerable. At 8 in the morning, I call Martha, my oldest friend. We've known each other since our daughters were in elementary school together. Martha, I need to tell you something, and I need you not to sugarcoat your response. I tell her everything. The conversation I overheard, the bank attempts, all of it. When I finish, there's a long silence. Then Martha says firmly, "Honey, you don't need revenge, you need a plan." Her next question stings worse than anything. "Diane, do you know what Claire's been signing lately?" I realize I have no idea. That evening my phone rings. Claire's name lights up the screen. I almost don't answer, but I force myself to. "Mom?" Her voice is too sweet, too careful, like she's reading from a script. "Can you come over tomorrow evening? Caleb wants to sit down and talk about your future. You know, making sure you're taken care of." Every word feels calculated. Your future. Taken care of. The language of control dressed up as concern. I take a breath and match her sweetness. "Of course, honey. What time works best?" 6, we'll order dinner. "Perfect, I'll see you then." The moment I hang up, I dial the number I found online an hour ago. Miss Alvarez, the attorney who handled Tom's estate after he'd passed. She'd been thorough, kind, and sharp as a tack. Her assistant patches me through. "Mrs. Hayes, how can I help you? I need a consultation, tomorrow if possible." "And Miss Alvarez?" I pause. It's urgent. She hears something in my voice. "I can see you at 2. Bring any relevant documents." After I hang up, I sit with my hands folded in my lap, staring at nothing. I'm 63 years old. I've raised a daughter, buried a husband, and survived cancer 10 years ago. I'm not fragile. I'm not confused. I'm not a problem to be solved. But someone needs to remember that. And it's going to be me. Miss Alvarez's voice echoes in my mind from our brief call. "And Diane, don't sign anything anyone puts in front of you." The family meeting happens in Claire's dining room. I arrive exactly on time, carrying nothing but my purse. Caleb and Nora are already seated. There's a folder on the table in front of Caleb's place, thick and official looking. Nora sits beside him like a general observing a battle. Claire brings me tea I didn't ask for. Her hands shake slightly as she sets down the cup. Caleb slides the folder across the table toward me. "Just some standard paperwork, Diane. Nothing complicated." I open it slowly. Power of attorney documents, financial management agreements, healthcare proxy forms, all with my name typed in, blank signature lines waiting. "This helps us help you," Caleb explains, his voice soothing. "You won't have to worry about bills or appointments or any of that stress. We'll handle everything." Claire's eyes are shining like she might cry, but she still says, "It's for the best, Mom. So you can relax and not worry." I flip through the pages slowly, letting them think I'm confused. Then I close the folder, look up, and laugh lightly. Oh, I couldn't possibly sign something like this without my lawyer reviewing it first. Nora's smile flickers. Caleb goes very still. "Your lawyer?" His voice is carefully neutral, but I can see his jaw tighten. I keep my voice pleasant, almost apologetic. "Of course, everyone should have a lawyer, especially for legal documents. Tom always said so." Caleb tries to recover quickly. "Diane, it's just standard paperwork. You're making this more complicated than it needs to be." I stand, smoothing my skirt, and pick up my purse. Then I lean down and kiss Claire's cheek. "Sweetheart, I love you. We'll talk tomorrow, okay?" Claire looks like she wants to say something, but Nora shoots her a look, and she stays quiet. In the driveway, I'm almost to my car when I hear footsteps behind me. Claire catches up, her face twisted with panic. "Mom, please. Please don't make this hard. Caleb's just trying to help. You're making him look bad. I turned to face my daughter. Really look at her. There are shadows under her eyes I hadn't noticed before. She's lost weight. Her wedding ring looks loose on her finger. Claire, when did you start being afraid of your husband? She flinches like I've slapped her. I'm not afraid. That's crazy. I just don't want to fight. I squeeze her hand. I'll call you tomorrow. As I pull away, I glance in my rearview mirror. Nora is standing in the front window, phone pressed to her ear, talking urgently. She looks furious. She's calling someone. And I have a feeling it's not good news for me. Miss Alvarez's office is in a modest building downtown. Nothing fancy. All business. She's in her 50s, with silver-streaked hair and eyes that miss nothing. I spread my documents across her conference table. She goes through everything methodically, occasionally making notes. Finally, she looks up. Your house is in a living trust. Did you know that? I shake my head. Tom handled most of the legal stuff. I signed what he asked me to sign. He protected you. She taps the trust documents. This house cannot be sold, leveraged, or transferred without a very specific process. You'd need to sign multiple documents, with witnesses, some requiring notarization, and as the trustee, you're the only one with authority. Relief floods through me. So they can't just take it? Not legally. But Diane, they're not just being rude or pushy. Based on what you've told me, they're attempting financial abuse. That's the clinical term, and we need to treat this seriously. I nod slowly. What do I do? We protect you. Legally, properly, and we make sure there's a paper trail of everything. She pulls out another file. There's one more thing you need to know. 6 months ago, there was an attempted change to your beneficiary designation on your life insurance policy. My blood goes cold. What? It wasn't completed. The insurance company flagged it because it was missing required verification, but someone tried. 6 months ago, I was barely functioning. Tom had been gone only a year and a half. I was drowning in grief, barely getting out of bed most days. Claire was coming over constantly, helping with bills, handling things I couldn't face. I trusted her completely. Miss Alvarez slides a photocopy across the table. It's a beneficiary change form. My signature is there, but it's shaky, wrong. Not how I sign my name. I didn't sign this, I whisper. I know. The insurance company knows. That's why they stopped the process. But Mrs. Hayes, someone tried to change your primary beneficiary from Claire to a joint designation. Claire and Caleb Brennan. I drive home in a daze. My hands are shaking so badly I have to pull over twice. When I finally walk through my front door, my phone is already ringing. Claire's name on the screen. I answer. Hello? Mom, why are you doing this? Her voice is frantic, accusing. Caleb's upset. He says you're being paranoid. Why won't you just let us help you? I sit down slowly on my couch. Claire, did Caleb tell you I'm sick? The silence stretches so long I think the call dropped. Then Claire whispers, he said you weren't right lately, that you were getting confused, forgetting things. My hands clench. And you believed him? I can hear Claire crying on the other end of the line. I don't know what to believe anymore, Mom. You're acting so strange, lawyers and secrets and refusing to let us help. This isn't like you. Because this isn't me needing help, baby. This is me protecting myself. I take a breath and make a decision. I'm gonna get a full physical and cognitive screening. I want you to come with me. You can see the results yourself. Mom, you don't have to. I want to. I want my daughter beside me. There's a pause. Then quietly, okay, I'll come. Relief washes over me. Thank you. But then she adds, almost as an afterthought, Caleb wants to come too. Of course he does, because this was never about helping me. It's about controlling the narrative. That's fine, I say calmly. The more the merrier. After we hang up, I sit in my quiet living room and let myself feel everything. The betrayal. The anger. The bone-deep loneliness of realizing your own daughter has been turned against you. But I also feel something else. Something harder and colder. Determination. They think I'm weak. They think I'm confused. They think I'm a problem to be managed. They're about to learn exactly how wrong they are. The doctor's appointment is on a Thursday morning. I arrive early, dressed neatly, carrying a folder with my medical history. Claire shows up looking nervous. Then Caleb walks in, carrying 2 coffees like he's husband of the year. All smiles and charm. Nora appears 5 minutes later. I was in the neighborhood, she says sweetly. Thought I'd stop by. No one is ever just in the neighborhood of a medical office at 9 in the morning. We're called back, and the nurse starts the intake process. When she begins the cognitive evaluation portion, she turns to Caleb. I'll need you to step out for this part. Hospital policy. Caleb's smile freezes. I'm family. The nurse, a woman in her 40s with kind eyes and zero patience for nonsense, repeats firmly, hospital policy. Family members can cloud the results. It'll just be 20 minutes. Nora starts to protest, but the nurse holds up a hand. Sir, ma'am, you'll need to wait in the lobby. I watch Caleb's jaw clench as he leaves. The evaluation is straightforward. Memory tests, problem solving, basic cognitive function assessments. I pass everything easily. The doctor reviews my results and says clearly, for the record, Mrs. Hayes, I see no signs of cognitive impairment. Your memory, reasoning, and mental acuity are all normal for your age. In the parking lot afterward, Caleb corners me by my car while Claire is saying goodbye to Nora. His tone drops, losing all pretense of warmth. Congratulations, Diane, you played that well. Caleb leans against my car, blocking my door. Up close, without the mask of charm, his eyes are cold. If you keep this up, you're gonna lose your daughter. His voice is low enough that Claire can't hear. She'll choose me. You know that, right? She always chooses me. My hands go cold, but I keep my voice steady. Is that a promise or a confession? He straightens immediately when Claire walks up, his expression transforming back into concern. Everything okay? Fine, I say lightly, just discussing next week's dinner plans. Claire looks between us, uncertain. She knows something happened, but she can't put her finger on what. That night, after I'm home and changed into comfortable clothes, my phone buzzes with a text from Claire. Mom, he says you're trying to ruin us. Why are you being like this? I stare at the message for a long time. Then I call Martha. I need to stop being scared, I tell her. I need to stop trying to be easy so my daughter won't choose him over me. Martha's response is immediate. Then stop begging and start building your case. She's right. I've been playing defense. It's time to play offense. The next morning I meet with Miss Alvarez again. Together we draft a formal letter. No financial access, no legal authority, no help with paperwork. All communications regarding my assets must be in writing. I also start a log. Dates, times, what was said, who was present. Nothing dramatic, just facts. Martha comes over that afternoon and helps me change my locks. We install a video doorbell too. All legal, all visible, all normal precautions. The next morning, I find a note taped to my door. We need to talk, today. It's not signed, but I recognize Nora's handwriting. Nora shows up at my door at 10 in the morning without calling first. She's dressed like she's going to lunch at a country club, all crisp lines and pearl earrings. I don't invite her in, but she walks in anyway, brushing past me. She looks around my living room like she's appraising it for sale. This house is too much for you, Diane. You'll fall on these stairs. You'll forget the stove on and burn the place down. I close the door calmly. I've lived here 22 years, Nora. I've never forgotten the stove. Her eyes narrow. You don't understand how families work. Claire needs support, and you're making everything harder. I understand perfectly. She takes a step closer. Then you'll understand when Claire stops coming around, when she realizes you're toxic, when you die alone in this house because you were too stubborn to accept help. I meet her eyes. Is that a threat? It's a prediction. She smooths her jacket. Claire loves Caleb. She'll choose him, she always does, and you'll have no one. After she leaves, I sit on my couch and let myself shake. Not from fear, from rage, but I don't cry. I pick up my phone and add every word Nora said to my log. Documentation. Miss Alvarez said documentation is everything. Claire cancels our dinner plans, then she cancels again the following week. I'm lonely in a way I haven't been since Tom's funeral. The house feels too big, too quiet. I catch myself making dinner for two, then remembering. Martha practically drags me out to a community fundraiser at the local elementary school. You need to be around people, she insists. Normal, kind people. The gym is decorated with student artwork and bake sale tables. It's bright and warm and safe. And that's where I see him. Caleb shaking hands with a woman in a navy blazer. I recognize her from the real estate signs around town. Angela Wu, top seller 3 years running. I'm close enough to hear Caleb say, laughing, we're hoping to list a property soon, just waiting on some final paperwork. Angela pulls out her phone. Great, have your wife send me the deed and authorization letter, and we can get started on comps. My heart is pounding, but I don't storm over. I don't make a scene. I wait until Caleb steps away to grab a cookie from the bake sale table. Then I walk up to Angela with a smile. Hi, I'm Diane Hayes. I couldn't help overhearing. Which property were we discussing? Angela's professional smile falters. Oh, I thought you were. Caleb said he was handling the listing for his mother-in-law's house. He isn't. I keep my voice gentle. I'm not selling, and Caleb has no authority over my property. Angela goes pale. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Hayes. I'll make a note in our system immediately. That night, my phone rings at 11. Caleb's name on the screen. It's the first time he's called me directly in months. I answer. Hello? You embarrassed me. His voice is tight with fury. In front of a professional contact, what's wrong with you? I corrected a misunderstanding. You made me look like a liar. I pause. Caleb, were you telling the truth? Silence. Then he hangs up. 2 days later, I walk out to get my mail and find my mailbox smashed, the post bent at an angle. My garden solar lights have been ripped out of the ground, the stakes snapped. It's not proof of anything. Could be kids, could be vandalism. But the timing feels deliberate. Martha tells me to call the non-emergency line. Make a report, even if nothing comes of it. Paper trail, remember? I do. The officer who comes out is professional and kind. He takes photos, writes everything down. My neighbor Mr. Webb stops by later. I saw a car idling out front last night around 2 a.m. Couldn't see the plates, but it was a dark sedan. I thank him and add it all to my log. That evening, Claire shows up at my door crying. Mom, Caleb says you called the police on him. Why would you do that? Claire stands in my doorway, and I barely recognize her. She's lost more weight. Her hair needs cutting. There's a tremor in her hands I've never seen before. I pull her inside gently. I filed a report about property damage. I did not accuse anyone of anything. He says you're trying to destroy our marriage, that you can't stand to see me happy. I take both her hands in mine. Sweetheart, I'm trying to save you from a man who thinks love means control. She flinches like I've hit her. You don't know what you're talking about. Then tell me I'm wrong. Tell me he doesn't monitor your phone. Tell me he doesn't question where you go. Tell me you don't have to ask permission to see your own mother. Tears stream down her face. You don't know what he's like at home. My heart stops. What do you mean? Claire's voice drops to a whisper. He records me. When I cry, when I'm upset, he records it on his phone and plays it back later. Says it so I can hear how irrational I sound. Everything in me goes still and cold. That's not normal, Claire. That's not love. She's shaking now, full body tremors. I pull her to the couch and wrap a blanket around her shoulders. You can stay here, tonight, no questions, just stay. She looks terrified. I can't. She stops. Her phone buzzes. She glances at the screen, and I see the message before she can hide it. If you're at your mother's, remember what I said about the account. Claire's face drains of color. What account? I ask quietly. It takes an hour, but Claire finally tells me. Between sobs and long silences, the truth comes out. When they got married, Caleb convinced her to merge their finances completely. For tax purposes, he said. It's smarter this way. Slowly, he moved her paycheck into joint management. Then he started handling all the bills. Then he told her they needed to budget more carefully, so she'd need to ask before making purchases. Now she has to ask for money like a child. Her own money. From her own job. No bruises, no screaming in public, just quiet, systematic control. I thought I was bad with money, Claire whispers. He said I was irresponsible, that he was helping me. I hold my daughter while she cries. Then I call Miss Alvarez. Within 2 hours, Claire is connected to a financial counselor and a family law attorney. All legal. All protective. Claire stays the night in my guest room. At 2 a.m, my doorbell camera sends an alert to my phone. I pull up the footage. Caleb's car is creeping past my house. Slowly. Like he's looking for something, or someone. I save the video file. In the morning, I don't call Caleb. I don't confront him. I do something that feels like taking my first real breath in months. With Miss Alvarez's help, I file a formal notice with my bank and insurance company restricting access to all my trust-related information. Only I can make changes, only in person, with photo ID. Claire, hands shaking but determined, opens a new bank account in her name only. The financial counselor guides her through redirecting her direct deposit. We also request copies of all attempted paperwork involving my assets from the past year. That's when the bank officer pauses. Mrs. Hayes, there's something you should see. She slides a document across the desk. It's a power of attorney form. My name is typed at the top. There's a signature at the bottom that's supposed to be mine, but I didn't sign it. Miss Alvarez's eyes sharpen. When was this submitted? 4 months ago. We didn't process it because the signature didn't match our records. It's been sitting in our fraud review queue. The signature is close. Someone practiced. But the H in Hayes is wrong. I always loop it twice. This one only loops once. Miss Alvarez looks at me. This isn't just concerning, this is potentially criminal. We need to report this. The bank's fraud investigation team gets involved. They're calm, professional, and terrifying in their efficiency. They pull records, phone calls, email attempts, IP addresses from online login attempts. Miss Alvarez coordinates everything. We're not accusing anyone yet, we're gathering facts. But the facts are damning. Multiple attempts to access my accounts from Caleb's IP address, password reset requests, applications for credit in my name. Claire sits in Miss Alvarez's office, staring at the evidence, her face blank with shock. He told me you asked him to help with your finances, she whispers. He showed me emails. He said you were forgetting to pay bills. Did you see those emails come from me, or did he just show you printouts? She closes her eyes. Printouts. Miss Alvarez leans forward. Claire, your husband has been systematically attempting to gain control of your mother's assets. The question now is what you want to do about it. Claire looks at me, tears streaming down her face. I want to leave him, but I'm scared. Then we'll make sure you're protected, Ms. Alvarez says firmly. Legally, properly, you don't have to be scared alone. That afternoon, Claire moves the rest of her essential belongings into my guest room while Caleb is at work. Her hands shake the entire time. At dinner, she barely eats. He's going to lose his mind when he finds out. Let him, I say quietly. We'll be ready. Caleb finds out when Claire's paycheck doesn't hit their joint account. He calls 17 times in 1 hour. Claire doesn't answer. Then Nora shows up at my door. I watch her through the camera before opening it. She's furious, barely containing it. Where's Claire? She demands. She's safe. She belongs with her husband. You're poisoning her against him. I step outside, closing the door behind me. Nora, this conversation is over. Leave my property. You can't keep her from him. He has rights. He has no rights over an adult woman who chooses to leave. Nora's face twists. You'll regret this. When Claire comes to her senses and realizes what you've done, she'll never forgive you. Mr. Webb is outside watering his garden. He's watching. Good. Witnesses. Goodbye, Nora. I go inside and lock the door. Add the interaction to my log. That night, Caleb sends a text to Claire's phone. We need to talk. Like adults. Neutral location. Thursday. Claire looks at me. Should I? Miss Alvarez on speakerphone says, only if you want to, only if I'm there, and only in a public place. Claire takes a shaky breath. Okay. Let's end this. The meeting is set for Thursday at 6, at a family restaurant called Bennett's. Busy enough for safety, quiet enough for conversation. Claire is terrified. I can see it in how she can't stop fidgeting with her wedding ring. You don't have to do this, I tell her for the 5th time. I do. I need to face him. We arrive first. Miss Alvarez is already there, professional in a gray suit, her briefcase beside her. Caleb walks in at exactly 6, Nora beside him like backup. He sees Ms. Alvarez and his stride falters. Why is she here? He directs the question at Claire like I'm not even present. Because I asked her to be, Claire says quietly. Caleb sits, forces a smile. Honey, this is between us. We don't need lawyers for a marriage conversation. This isn't just about marriage anymore, Claire says. Miss Alvarez slides a folder across the table. Mr. Brennan, we need to discuss several attempted unauthorized accesses to Mrs. Hayes's financial accounts. Caleb's jaw tightens. I was helping her. She asked me to. Do you have that request in writing? Miss Alvarez asks calmly. It was verbal. Then you have no authorization, which makes these attempts fraudulent. Nora leans forward. Prove it. Miss Alvarez opens the folder. Bank records, IP logs, attempted signature forgery, all documented, all time-stamped. The bank can prove it, and they're prepared to if necessary. Caleb's face is reddening. This is insane. I'm her son-in-law. I was trying to help. Claire's voice cuts through. Caleb, give me access to my paycheck. He freezes. What? My money? Give it back. The restaurant goes quiet around us. Caleb stares at Claire like she's spoken a foreign language. Then he laughs. Actually laughs. Honey, we've been over this. We manage money together. It's our system. It's not our system. It's your control. Claire's voice is shaking but clear. I want my own account back. I want access to my own money. You're being hysterical. I'm being clear. Caleb's mask is cracking. His voice rises. After everything I've done for you? For your mother? This is how you repay me? Nora hisses. Ungrateful, both of you. I finally speak. You didn't do anything for us. You did it to us. Caleb's control snaps. You're a bitter old woman who can't stand to see your daughter happy. You've turned her against me with your paranoid nonsense. His voice is loud enough that nearby diners turn to look. A manager approaches the table. Sir, I need you to lower your voice. Stay out of this, Caleb snaps. The manager's expression hardens. Sir, if you can't calm down, I'll need to ask you to leave. And in that moment, watching Caleb lose control in a room full of witnesses, I see something shift in Claire's face. Fear turning to clarity. She stands up. I'm filing for separation. My lawyer will contact you. Caleb stares at her. You can't be serious. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. Claire turns to me, tears falling, and says the words that make everything worth it. Mom, I'm sorry I believed him. The next 2 weeks are a blur of legal proceedings, paperwork, and Claire slowly rebuilding her life. She files for legal separation with Miss Alvarez's colleague, a family law attorney named Patricia Cross. The bank investigation proceeds formally. Caleb is flagged in their system as having attempted fraudulent access. The real estate agent, Angela Wu, sends a formal letter to her broker documenting Caleb's misrepresentation. He's blacklisted from working with that agency. Claire's employer, once they understand the situation, helps her set up direct deposit to her new account and provides documentation of her earnings for the separation proceedings. Nora tries to launch a social media campaign, painting me as a manipulative mother interfering in my daughter's marriage. But she makes a mistake. She posts screenshots of text messages that include threats she made. Multiple people report the posts. Several friends reach out to Claire privately to offer support. The narrative Caleb and Nora tried to build, the confused old woman, the concerned family, crumbles under the weight of documentation. Bank records don't lie, IP logs don't lie. Forged signatures don't lie. Mr. Webb gives a statement to police about the car he saw the night my mailbox was damaged. The description matches Caleb's vehicle. Claire moves forward with the separation. Slowly, carefully, but forward. 3 months later, I'm in my kitchen making chicken casserole. The same recipe that started everything. Claire is at the table, doing paperwork for her new apartment. She's moving out next week, not because she has to, but because she wants to. She's ready. Mom, she says suddenly, I need to say something. I turn from the stove. I should have believed you from the start. I should have seen what he was doing, to both of us. Her voice cracks. I'm so sorry. I sit down across from her. You were in an impossible situation. He was good at what he did. He called you a problem. She wipes her eyes. That's what started this whole thing, right? You heard him call you a problem. I nod. He was wrong. Claire reaches across the table and takes my hand. You weren't the problem. You were the solution, for both of us. Later, after Claire leaves for her new job, the one she got on her own, I sit on my back porch with tea. My phone buzzes. A text from Martha. Dinner Friday? My place? Celebration? I smile and type back, perfect. The house is quiet, but it's not lonely anymore. It's peaceful. I think about everything that's happened. The fear, the anger, the determination, the legal battles, and the quiet victories. Caleb tried to paint me as weak, confused, a burden to be managed. But I wasn't any of those things. I was a woman who knew her worth, who protected what was hers, who saved her daughter by refusing to be erased. He called me a problem. In the end, I was the solution. Just not for him.